Welcome back to the channel. Racer X here, and today I'm actually at Parks Ford in Wesley Chapel, Florida, really close to my house because I wanted to grab a couple of cars and do a really quick comparison between two trim levels. And with the ever-changing market, I wanted to kind of give one of these trim levels its just due. I feel like there's some seriously cool things about what Ford has done with this particular trim. So today, like I said, I'm going to grab two cars. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. It should be a lot of fun. If you're brand new to my channel, I really need you guys to subscribe. Please do me that favor. You can find the subscribe button right over here in the corner, and off we go.
T-minus 15 seconds.
Now guys, one of the reasons I really like this dealership is because they don't really mess with any markups. So for example, this is a beautiful California special car. I just absolutely love the color of this, but you can see a pretty special car. And I love the blue with the red. I've always kind of liked that theme. Those of you guys that have followed my channel for a while know. But this car is actually marked down. So when it comes to like a Mustang GT or even like highly sought after Broncos and stuff, if you come place orders with this particular dealership, they won't mark them up on you. And so that's one big reason that I'm a big proponent of these guys here. And here are the two cars that I wanted to show you. Yes, this car in red is an EcoBoost Mustang, and the blue car, of course, is the mighty Mustang GT. Those of you guys that watch my channel a lot, you realize that's obviously what I have. I have a Mustang GT, but it is highly modified, twin turbo, all that good stuff. And I really need to do kind of stock for stock comparison here, but the EcoBoost most definitely has its merit. And I want to talk a little bit today about just how cool the EcoBoost really is and what Ford did for us on this particular trim, because it is kind of unique. Now, if you are a performance enthusiast, this is the car that obviously is very well known, the Mustang GT with the 5-liter Coyote, and it definitely has its merits. A lot of people love modding these, whether it's supercharging, twin turboing, and even like on E85 with just headers and a couple other goodies. These cars are really fast, and it makes them a lot of fun. And the car that really doesn't get talked about nearly as much is the EcoBoost. But the big thing is, this car, as it sits right now, even as decked out as this one is still about $12,000 less than a comparably equipped Mustang GT. Now on the website, it shows them about $10,000 difference, but in real life, when you go look at these things on the dealership lot, you will definitely see the difference is more than that. And so the EcoBoost might actually be a really good option for people that want a lot of fun, want a good looking car, but are still on a budget. So here is the aforementioned 5-liter Coyote engine that comes in the Mustang GT. For 2022, this car makes 450 horsepower. And boy, this thing really does pack a punch. But this particular car actually stickers right around like $52,000. I absolutely love this Kona blue car, really pretty car. But when you talk about the EcoBoost, this is actually a very capable engine. Yes, it is a 4-cylinder, but it's a 4-cylinder turbo. It is actually made for boost, and it still packs a serious punch. 310 horsepower out of a 4-cylinder, and get this, 350 pound-feet of torque. And that is really where this EcoBoost engine shines, is on the torque aspect of things, and it only gets better from there. Now, a couple other items of note. Yes, this Mustang GT comes with a 10-speed automatic transmission, which is absolutely fantastic. Of course, the manual version, I'm not a huge fan of the manual in these cars. I just don't think they're very good, unless, of course, they are the manual out of like the GT350, which is fantastic, which is supposedly coming on the new Dark Horse and the new Mustang GT. So those should be really good. That's in 2024. Now, the EcoBoost, cool thing about that is you don't lose out anything on the transmission. You also get the 10-speed automatic transmission, so it really keeps the car in the power band quite well. So that's one little aspect of it that I really do like. Now, one other quick thing I did want to mention is the EcoBoost Mustang comes with the same 235 tires that the Mustang GT comes with. I'm not talking about the Performance Pack 1 car, guys. Obviously, we know those are wider, but this car actually comes with the same 235 tires on it, unless you get an upgraded package. So you're already getting the same wheels on the car basically as well. So here is the really cool thing and the main point of this video, and why I wanted to bring up the EcoBoost, because if you know anything about turbocharged engines from the factory, I mean, yeah, they are made for boost, and this car really doesn't cost that much. I was just on like Car Gurus and Auto Trader. I mean, really good deals can be found on EcoBoost Mustangs with very low miles that are maybe a year or two old. I mean, I've got example after example of these cars being like in the low 20s, and you actually get a lot of performance for a car that looks like this, that you can get 310 stock horsepower out of, and all that torque, 350 pound-feet of torque, and that is before you start modding it. And that's the best thing about this. So when I talk about like the Dodges, and we talk about the Pentastar, the V6, those cars really, they're more difficult to mod. You can do it, guys do, but they spend a lot of money on upgrades, and you don't get nearly the same kind of horsepower. Those are the, you know, the guys that understand turbocharged engines realize there is a lot of potential with one of these. And I've actually seen lots of videos out there where guys are actually making, if not more, very close to Mustang GT power.
We'll put it on our Dynocom dyno, and we're gonna see how much we can make with this Nostrum, however you wanna call it, high pressure fuel pump, stock injectors, stock turbo. Let's SAE.
For a fraction of the price, and they're having a ton of fun with these cars. Matter of fact, I saw one car out there that was making like 750 wheel horsepower out of a Mustang EcoBoost.
741, 639. Dang, Ryan's got that eco sauce going strong. We got a 9-second EcoBoost right here.
But the truth remains, with some simple mods, right? With basically like a catback exhaust, maybe a downpipe, a good cold air intake, and a really solid tune, you can pick up like 100 to 120 horsepower on one of these Mustangs. And it's really not that expensive to do. And it is a really well-performing car. I mean, you'll see cars get up there in like the mid-4 in torque, in terms of like mid-400s in torque. And the sky is the limit with these EcoBoost guys. So definitely something to consider there. So what it really all boils down to is, if you are a guy that just has to have a V8, yeah, you've got the Mustang GT, the 5-liter, and then of course you've got the Shelby cars and stuff like that out there, so you've got a couple of different trim levels out there to choose from. Maybe the EcoBoost isn't for you, but if you are a true performance enthusiast, you're on a budget, and you still want something that looks good, that you can make fast, something that you can do in stages, you almost have to consider an EcoBoost. Yeah, like I said, 4-cylinder, some people just, that's sacrilege. Like, why would I go with a 4-cylinder?
No! God, please, no! No! No!
But then there's a whole bunch of guys, especially the import guys, who absolutely love 4-cylinders, but you cannot deny the potential of this particular car. I mean, that's really the great thing that Ford gave us on the Mustang, whether it's the EcoBoost or the Mustang GT. I mean, both of these cars can be really fast when they've had mods added to them. But like I said, you know, if you want to take one of these and make it pretty darn close to as fast as a Mustang GT, it is really not that hard to do. I mean, there's lots of people out there making these cars fast, and they're kind of a little bit of a sleeper because of the fact they are an EcoBoost. They don't have that 5-liter badge on the side of it, and that freaks people out. When you pull up next to an EcoBoost, you assume it's not really going to be that fast if you're running around, say, in your RT or even your Scat Pack in some examples. Like if you're on the highway and you've got a highly modified EcoBoost, it will absolutely scare you, because these things are quite capable. Now, 2 other quick things I want to mention about the EcoBoost. One is it weighs less than 3,500 pounds, so it's actually quite light. It's several hundred pounds lighter than its cousin here in the Mustang GT, or its big brother, if you will. And the other piece of it is, with today's market, you're seeing a lot of markup. I've talked about this at length. I mean, just about every type of dealership out there is doing this, and it just depends on how high up you go in trim level as to what you're seeing on the markup. But a lot of dealerships have their Mustang GTs marked up, and even on the used car side, you haven't seen prices on Mustang GTs come down all that much. They're still kind of up there in price. Whereas when you jump over to an EcoBoost, a lot of times, even if you buy one brand new, you can get it at sticker or less. It's the most prevalent car in terms of Mustangs you're going to find on the lot. It's the lowest trim, but it's still very capable. So you can actually still get a really good deal on one of these. And when you look at like a used car, you can find a fantastic deal on an EcoBoost right now. And in today's market, that is a big deal. So guys, that is about it. I want to take absolutely nothing away from the Mustang GT. Like I said, I own one of these cars. I really like it. It is extremely fast. They love boost. I mean, I can go on and on about the great things that a Coyote engine will do. Of course, the Mustangs have their drawbacks just like any other car, but a very, very solid platform in the Mustang GT. It's just a lot more expensive than a comparably equipped EcoBoost Mustang, obviously right here. So if you are budget conscious, you still want a car to go out and have a lot of fun, one you can tinker around with, one that you can mod, and one that actually has the potential to make Mustang GT like power or even more. Give the EcoBoost some thought, guys. It's kind of a weird world. I've kind of switched around a lot of what I used to say because the market has changed. And right now, modding your car is actually not a bad way to go, with prices being what they are, inventory levels being what they are. I mean, what can you do? So anyway, guys, let me know what you think about the EcoBoost Mustang in the comments down below, and I will catch you on the next one. So until then, Racer X.